Brodes Media.
The reason why I love when the Phillies take a series is nothing other than being able to appreciate my Emilio cigar after the post-game pod, baby. That's right. A victory cigar after taking care of business against the San Diego Padres. There's only one cigar to smoke on planet Earth. That is an Emilio cigar. New school roots, old school attitude, locally owned, third generation, made at the Fabrica Oveja Negra in Nicaragua. This is as serious of a cigar as you will find, and it is so lovely, and it tastes so good on your lips. Explaining it to you isn't even enough. What you need to do is check the link down below in the description. You can utilize promo code BRODES10 at checkout for 10% off of your order. If you want to hang out on the back patio on a summer night, boom, Emilio cigars. You're having friends over, a nice party, 4th of July, boom, Emilio cigars. You're going golfing with the fellas, boom, Emilio cigars. You can go to your local cigar and tobacco shop and ask for Emilio cigars, and you can also check it out online. Brodes10. Use the promo code with the link down below and enjoy the show. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what I call fucking starting pitching. Holy shit. Holy shit. Wheels on Monday night. 10 Ks, 8 innings, no walks. We'll get to Mick Abel in a moment. But Sanchez, he should have had the 8th. He only had 85 pitches, drew 7. I was working out here at my home gym in the basement. After each set, I go and I stand in front of the TV and I watch the damn game. When it was the 5th or 6th inning, it might even been the damn 7th. I'm looking at the pitch count and I go, This says complete game written all over it. And then the Kirkering thing got a little dicey. There's a walk. Manny Machado's up. There could be damage done. But credit to Kirkering, because he got Machado looking. And that pitch was nasty. And it caught the bottom of the plate. So shut your damn mouth, Manny, and walk back to the dugout, you bum. Sanchez's changeup, though? Ew! I mean, I swear to God. Ew! Ew! You could even be sitting on that damn thing and you're still fooled. Oh. So, yes, the nature of each game here came down to how your starter did. It's very unfortunate for game 1 of the doubleheader to watch Mick Abel get yanked in the 2nd. You got to be an idiot to ever claim to be a Mick Abelsman. Not me. Not me. Uh-oh. I mean, seriously, this may be troublesome. This may be very bad for Dave Dombrowski at the deadline. This is getting rough. 5 walks. And I'm not going to act as if I paid a lot of attention to how bad he was last year, but we know his stock was declining heavily. And Ruben Amaro said on the broadcast, this was part of his issues when he wasn't performing very well a year ago. His location was crap. He's walking guys in. And then the game got blown wide open. Weirdly enough, the team actually had a shot with Kyle Schwarber up for a walk-off. Brandon Marsh, with one of the most idiotic base running mistakes on planet Earth, got lucky. Gave Kyle a chance anyway, somehow, with them overturning the call, which I think they missed the tag, but I also think there's a chance that he did get him, considering I watched the way that Brandon Marsh acted the second it happened. For them to overturn it, I was stunned. And sure, Kyle struck out anyway and tried to be the hero. But that still doesn't change the fact that Brandon Marsh had one of the lowest IQ base running mistakes there is. And that's something that constantly happens with this group, which makes it hard to fully buy in, is they just play stupid baseball. But at the same time, they continue to win series. They win as many series as a lot of the best teams in baseball right now, which brings me to a very interesting point. What I feel is interesting, and I guess that's what matters. No offense. As soon as the game ended, there was a lot of this from a lot of different people. All the haters feel stupid now. Imagine not liking a team that has this many wins. How dare you ever doubt this group? They may be flawed, but they still are damn good. Listen, I watch this team every night. You really think if I hate the Phillies, I'd spend 4 hours, well, pitch clock, 3 hours a night consuming them, and then, oh, by the way, talking about it after every game or every series? I love them. But what I can't do is act as if they are not close to the Sixers discourse. Okay? If you want the negativity and the worries and the scared emotions to go away, then tell them to fucking win and shut us up. Think of it from the view of the Eagles. There was a time with Andy Reid, NFC Championship games, getting to the big dance. You never had the swagger and the confidence that you had now. Because once you start winning, then it's way easier to fully put your heart out there. When the Eagles play and it's wintertime and it's late into the season and it's time to go on a playoff push, I won't shut the fuck up with confidence, because this team is going to absolutely annihilate your ass, because that's all they do every year. They're known winners with the quarterback who's a known winner. And that's what they do year after year, is win, 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 win. So when the Phillies fail and flop and look lost and their offense looks similar to what it did in Houston about a week and a half ago in the playoffs after winning 95 games and then facing the Mets, who you should have beaten, then yeah, I hate to break it to you, it's okay to be in the same realm as where we stand with the Sixers when it comes to this group. It's acceptable based off of the recent. And while I understand that if you keep cracking at the door, there is a chance you can get it done. But that means we need Dave Dombrowski to do something he hasn't done yet in this town, which is make a significant upgrade at the deadline to a bullpen that so desperately needs it. He's never done that. Not enough. And the bullpen's never been this bad. So maybe that's a kick in the rear end for him, where he knows we've never been this diminished and this thin. So I have no other choice. And then that organically gets him to a point where he does something that's a little bit more of a splash, if you will. But all I'm saying is the reaction that you're a fool or you're a dope or you're a moron or you're an idiot to have doubts about this team or to worry about this team or to talk about why this team may crack and crumble, I disagree. I think it's probably correct to feel that way until proven otherwise. I didn't feel that way in 22. I don't remember. Okay? Because quite frankly, that seed, well, no, forget that. I do remember. 22, I mean, it came out of nowhere. So it was almost, what the hell is going on? I can't even process this. 23, we didn't have the NLCS Arizona Diamondbacks flop yet. But that was sort of the turning point. And we're definitely here now, especially after the Mets. We watched them win 95 and it not mean anything. And I hate to bring that up, but there were just so many obnoxious, hey, you're stupid if you doubt this team people out there, where I had to stand my ground. But now let's get back into the excellence and the greatness of what this team did. Wheels. I heard the WIP afternoon show discuss how he probably isn't even getting the recognition that he deserves because he just does it so constantly and so effectively and so efficiently and so nonchalantly that we just write it in as, here's going to be another Wheels game, you know? But you don't really truly understand it. It's going to be one of those things where, and it's not like we don't. We definitely do get it. But it's just one of those things where once he hangs them up and you look back and reflect and he's no longer here, that's when you get hit with the, oh yeah, man, was it a luxury to be able to sit back every 5 games and watch that man go to work, because it's otherworldly. I mean, it is God. It is God himself on the bump, just staring at JT going, no, yeah, 97, ew, dirty dancing with some off speed, ew. Nick Abel, though. Ugly. Hey, good for Max Kepler to get revenge, because I know there was a rain postponement and whatnot, so maybe you forget and your brain doesn't go back that far, but he got robbed at center field on Friday. Or what? Why do I? For some reason, whenever I was writing the notes, my brain thinks it's Sunday night, and I'm reacting to a Friday, Saturday, Sunday series for whatever reason. I could be brain dead. But Monday's game. Now, I played in a men's league hockey game for the first time of my life on Monday nights. And I was listening to the Phillies game while I was driving to the rink. I picked up a case. So I picked up a 30 rack to say thank you. One of my buddies plays in a men's league consistently. They needed a defenseman. I said, dude, I've been on the ice one time in 3 years. I would love to get on for the second time in 3 years. And the reason this story makes sense with the baseball team here is, so I'm picking up a 30 at the liquor store. I'm listening to the Phils. At the liquor store, there's a TV behind the cash register, and they were watching the Phils, of course, smart people. And I'm watching Max Kepler at the dish, and I see the ball on the broadcast flying in the air. So I turn to the doors, and I say, thank you very much, have a good day. And in my brain, it goes, all right, he just smacked an absolute fucking nuke. When I get in my car, I turn on the radio, and they're giving me the score, and I'm going, what the hell happened? The ball was in the air 8,000 feet. That thing was going to a different planet. There's no way, and I mean no way, that wasn't a home run. So I had to sit through commercials, sit through a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Fransky talking a bit about, what's going on currently at that specific time. Go, what happened? So I was lost for about 3 or 4 minutes. He got his revenge. Good for Marshy, too, for the way he's been hitting. Now, there were some fans calling for him to be benched in Game 2 for how outrageous Game 1 and the almost ending was. For some reason, in real time, it didn't hit me. And no, it's bad, and it can't happen. But I didn't think, all right, Rob Thompson has to put the hammer down and say, Marsh, you suck. Sit your ass down on the bench and you don't deserve to play. I didn't feel that aggression, but I thought, holy hell, this team is dumb. This team is stupid. You have Kyle Schwarber up. You're already in scoring position. He's not paying attention. He's thinking the ball's going to second, allegedly. Come on, bro. What are we doing? But Marsh has been raking. We'll say it in fairness of what raking is in terms of Marsh. But he got the home run. He's swinging the bat better. Do I think this is going to be him forever? No. I think these guys that constantly get years and years of opportunities, what they do is they flirt in just enough to make you wonder what if, but then, unfortunately, they don't stay consistent with it. That's why Rojas and that's why Marsh, we're running into the same exact duo year after year after year, is because they do enough to keep you intrigued and they go on a little run, but then reality hits. So, unfortunately, yes, I am expecting some dip eventually for him. But speaking of Rojas, it's funny. No Bryce Harper in game 2, and Rob Thompson said he was available to pinch hit. Could be a lie. You know, he's making it seem like it was just precautionary because he didn't pinch hit. They could easily be trying to spin this as positive as humanly possible to the media and to the fans. I have some big-time concerns on Bryce Harper. If you didn't listen, I posted a 38-minute sort of, I don't want to call it a best of, but my first 38 minutes of my 4-hour show on WIP Tuesday, since there was no game, I hopped on and did a show 6 to 10 p.m., and I'm just super scared about him because, one, they clearly don't know what the problem is, right? And 2, they know it's not going to get any better. He just has to tolerate it. And 3, if this team is going to advance like they did during previous runs, you need Bryce Harper to be able to give them the bedlam at the bank type of swing. You need to see him stare down RC a couple times in a game. You need that level of dominance while other variables are absolutely in play. I'm not trying to spin it where Bryce has to put on a cape and nothing else matters and it's the Bryce Harper show and I demand him to just be the biggest dog in the history of baseball history. No, but when this team goes as far as we've seen them in the NLCS and the World Series, you've had the clutchest moments of Bryce Harper's career. Is he healthy enough and will he be healthy enough through October to provide that? I'm a little worried about that. And by a little worried, I mean I'm a lot worried about that. The Rojas thing, though, to summarize that point, when Nick Castellanos DHs, Kyle Schwarber's in left field, Kett played right, you can have a defensive replacement, a pinch runner. Rojas came in, it ended up benefiting you. You do the defensive replacement. It's interesting that you can do that and have that conversation when Nick Castellanos isn't affected. Just saying. And I got little news for you on Nick Castellanos in 1 second. But first, let me tell you about my friends over at Green Lawn Fertilizing. I can't explain enough how great my experience has been with the experts over at Green Lawn Fertilizing. They are the best in the business, okay? And they have helped make my lawn recover from absolute vomit to this is starting to become the most stunning grass in the history of the world. Now, it takes some treatments. It doesn't happen overnight, but they continue to do these treatments. Next week starts my 5th treatment, and, they killed the weeds, so they say, hey, Brodes, we're going to have some brown spots. Don't worry about it. We're going to kill the weeds. Then we're going to get this, new wave of grass coming in, and this is all the process, and we're going to explain it to you, and they really teach you and educate you about the proper steps and the length of time. And it's just amazing to watch the process. And they've knocked it out of the park, literally. And I'm so impressed. And every time I wake up and I let my dogs out back or I go get the mail, I smile with my cup of coffee knowing that Green Lawn Fertilizing is in control and making my lawn as beautiful as humanly possible. Experts in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Delaware. And they are giving you 50% off your first 2 treatments. 50% off your first 2 treatments. Do not be a fool. Make sure you check out the information down below in the description. You click the link that'll set you up through me. It'll tell them, hey, Brodes sent me. I listened to his show. He told me all about your great products. And, you click the link there. You join the Green Lawn Fertilizing family, and your life will change forever. All right, so here's the update. Not the update, but the interesting little rumor that's going around. Jim Bowden. Now, there's a few guys where you got to make sure you react accordingly with. There's your Bob Nightingales, your John Heymans. There's that crew. There's Jim Bowden. You know, I'm not saying they're all the same, but I tend to believe Jim Bowden's better than those guys. But I'm just saying, there's the national baseball reporters. Jeff Passan does an excellent job. You never really have to question or wonder with him. But there are some where it's hit or a miss, right? Just for whatever it's worth. But it's brought up that Nick Castellanos is again being talked about as potentially shopped, and it seems like every single year there is a discussion about Nick Castellanos at the deadline. Let me tell you this, I would be absolutely stunned and floored if there is a move of that caliber at the deadline. I don't think it's coming whatsoever. Okay, I don't think that's something that they do now. If you want to talk about the offseason, trying to move Bohm again, Nick with 1 year left on his deal. You got to figure out the free agency with Ranger, Kyle, and JT. There are other elements for sure during an offseason. But here's what Jim Bowden said. Quote, the Castellanos rumors just never go away. And for that reason alone, multiple GMs think there's a chance he could get moved if Philadelphia can find a better right field option. But what does that mean? I mean, listen, I'm not the most, I'm not the biggest fan of Nick offense. I think he does just enough where he doesn't get insanely criticized, but he doesn't do enough where he's a lock of a fan. You know what I mean? Like fans are, well, I'm a big fan of you. Probably a dumb word to use, but he doesn't get all the love because there's just enough deficiencies. More than enough. There's a lot of deficiencies. It's a weird thing for Nick. He does enough to escape harsh criticism, but he still gets criticized, but he also gets loved, and there's a lot there, right? I don't know if you're trying to, here's me being positive, right? So if you think I'm a negative douche, here's me being positive. If you're going to go on a run in your eyes, if you're Dave Dombrowski in your head, you're pursuing this, you're giving this a chance, you're giving this an opportunity, you're getting after it. Unless you're getting a superstar, I think your best shot is probably with Nick. Now, it's a flawed team. It's a team that's probably going to go cold offensively. It is what it is. But the way this team is constructed, the way this team has it going, if you were to remove Nick Castellanos and get a better defender in there who is a 240 hitter, is that better than Nick Castellanos as a poorer defender that hits for more average and has more pop? You're not going to go find a 280 consistent hitter who's a better defender than Nick. Why would somebody give that up right now and Nick be involved in the trade? Why would that be an interesting piece for a team? You know what I mean? No, if they're, I don't get it. I don't see that one. And maybe it's just speculation because they constantly feel Nick is in the rumorville, if you will. But I don't see how that makes sense here. I'm just being honest with you. No Bryce for game 2. We got to that. We just got to keep an eye on it. That's all. And my last point here before we get to some of the anytime hotline calls is it just me, or maybe it just happened at the right times for me to notice it, but San Diego is just one of the laziest teams in the world, no? Just so nonchalant. One time, Fernando Tatis is running slower than my 90-year-old grandmother, and then before you know it, he's hustling faster than Bryce does when he busted out of a box. What? Whatever they want to do. Hey, Manny feels like trying. Manny doesn't feel like trying. Hey, Fernando wants to try. Fernando doesn't want to try. I just think they are part of the laziest group of players I've ever seen. And there's probably a correlation with that and why they'll always be, at best, second fiddle in the NL West. And with the way that it can shake out with San Francisco, you're talking third, potentially. I don't even know where they stand currently with the standings. I'll take a look here. Not that I give a damn whatsoever, but my fingers are just doing it. They are second as we no, fourth. Holy crap. Arizona is 43-42. San Francisco is 45-41. So why is Arizona ahead? What are we doing here? Oh, San Francisco's on a big time losing skid. Why is it laid out that way? What am I missing? San Francisco's winning percentage is higher, and they have more wins. Am I drunk? And San Diego's got a better... No. This ain't right. Yeah, why is... This is backwards. Screw you, ESPN app. Okay. It goes Dodgers, San Diego, San Fran, Arizona. This stupid, dumbass app. I don't know if any of these teams are playing now that are screw up what I'm even talking about by the time this gets posted, but whatever. Yeah, San Fran is playing Arizona right now. This is useless conversation. Whatever. Let's go to the phones, baby. Let's do it.
Hey, Brodes, it's Mark calling from SoCal again. Like I said, long-time listener. Called a few times here. That was an interesting Phillies game to watch here tonight. Thought Sanchez threw the ball relatively well. I thought the offense hit relatively well. I thought Kirkland pitched relatively well. It's just when we get freaking Matt Strahm in the game, it's just, I mean, I never know what to think. And it's been almost 2 years of feeling that way now. Like, I mean, what do we do about this guy? It's just, you never know if he's going to be lights out or lights on, I guess you want to call it. I don't know. Wonder what your thoughts are. Keep up the good content, bro. Thanks.
Thank you. With Strom, you just got to hope and pray. Now, we actually did pretty good today. Excuse me. It's that LaCroix. I'm drinking seltzer. Just trying to help my urge with drinking soda so I can get the carbonation. I got black raspberry. I'm getting sidetracked. Strom last year made me feel good. Until the playoffs. All-star caliber relief pitcher. I liked Strom last year, but this year has been shaky. He did good, though. I mean, that ninth inning wasn't really a sweat. The Kirkering experience in the eighth, that was interesting, but he did enough. And to get Manny Machado the way that he did, even to get the second out of the inning the way that he did, it was just hairy and dicey, and because of the circumstances of how well Cristopher Sanchez pitched with such a low pitch count, I thought, oh gosh, this might come back to bite Rob Thompson in the ass. But I would have personally sent Cristopher Sanchez out there to say, this bullpen is so thin. If you could ever gain an advantage. Now, I'm aware they were off Tuesday, so there was a rest, although they had to play 2 games today. Thursday, they're off before they face the Cincinnati Reds in this home series over the 4th of July weekend. So they do have an off day tomorrow and whatnot, so it's not as if you got to worry about multiple games in a row and in case someone needs a day off after pitching a lot. But this team is so desperate with any advantage with the bullpen. The less workload, the better. The less workload, the better. And when Sanchez is ripping through this lineup as effectively as he was with such a low pitch count. Listen, if it was 93, 92, 91, and it's getting dicey and you can debate just shutting them down, then by all means, I can understand it more. But 85. Now, what did Wheeler end up with? I'm just trying to put it in perspective on allowing Zack Wheeler to go in that 4-0 shutty. He went 107. So Zack Wheeler can go 107. And granted, Zack Wheeler is on a different planet than Sanchez. And that's saying something because Sanchez is pitching insane. But one guy can go 107. The other guy's getting knocked out at 85. I don't like that. Just being honest with you, I don't like that. But the ground balls, are effective. You know what's crazy, though? As my mind is bouncing everywhere and I'm scratching my face weirdly at the same time, both cheeks. This episode's getting weird. Could you imagine any other sport having to play 2 games in one day? Football, you play at 1, you play at 8. Hockey. Puck drop at 12 Saturday matinee at the barn, but then you lace them back up at 8 o'clock to play a second game. I get it's not as physically taxing as these other sports, and you mix in your backup catcher, so JT's off, and Bryce doesn't play. You can DH Nick, then he's off his feet in the field, and Kyle can get out in left field for a game, and Sosa and Bohm, and, you flip-flop guys for sure, and there's a new starter, and your bullpen usage, and the whole thing, right? And how about Seth? How about our guy Seth coming in there and being intriguing? What do you know? Something to monitor. That's crazy, though, that a professional sports league makes them play twice in a day. I mean, I get tired watching. Well, I'm beat up. I'm tired. All I had to do was sit on my damn couch and watch both of them and take a few notes, and then here I am ripping through some conversation about it. I'm beat up. Playing the game? Professional sports? That level of intensity? Playing twice? You get to the ballpark at what, 11 for a 1 o'clock game? I don't know. I'm a 2 hour, 2.5 hour before the game type guy back in my prime. I whatever. Get there at 10:30, 11, start going through your little process, and then you don't leave the ballpark till 10 o'clock after you hit the showers for game chat. It's crazy. I get a nice payday, though. I'd do it for the paycheck. Bryce's or Wheelers. Would I do it for Otto Kemp's? Yeah. Yeah, I would. Kemper. There was one non-Kemper play, and then there were a lot of Kemper at the plate plays I liked, but there was one allowed Padres to take the lead. It's okay. Took the lead right back. Bang, 2-1. When Kep came up. Bang. Good work. All right. Let's go back to the phones.
Brodes, this team is just, they cannot decide whether they actually want to fire or not. It is, that's all this team has been for years. I mean, I'm literally calling in the middle of the day. I'm calling from my lunch break to tell you about how frustrating this Phillies team is. I mean, I'm not asking for them to sweep the Padres. You get a doubleheader. You might win one, you lose one. It's hard to sweep a doubleheader. That's just the reality. But to go out here and score 1 run against Nick Pivetta, 7 innings against Nick Pivetta, and you place 1 run in a game where Mick Abel goes out and gets shut out early. He gets put out of this game early because reality is set in. Mick Abel is not an ace. I don't know if too many people were getting ahead of themselves thinking that he was going to be an absolute star because he shut down the Pittsburgh Pirates, but that's not the reality of baseball. We have realized at this point that Mick Abel is not a top-tier pitcher. He might get there one day. He might have time. I'm willing to give him time. But right now, he's not that pitcher. And our offense is what our offense is. They will go quiet against pitchers that they should be scoring runs against. 1 run against Nick Pivetta is not enough.
I hate Nick Pivetta. No, Nick Pivetta went 6, not 7. He went 6 innings, 1 earned run, 90 pitches, no walks, 6 Ks. That first game of the doubleheader, and obviously if he's calling during his lunch break, he's in the middle of work, and that was in the middle of game 1 of this doubleheader. They just walked way too many damn guys, And yeah, Mick Abel, listen, no, I didn't think he was a star. Now, maybe I exaggerated at times when I expressed how much I liked some of his things that he was doing out there. But I thought he could maybe work his way into taking over Taiwan's job, that kind of thing. And the bar set very low for Taiwan Walker, who ironically came into that game as well. He went 2 2/3. I mentioned Seth. He went 2 innings. Seth Johnson, no hits, no walked batters, 2 Ks. And, after Lazar came in, he allowed an earned run. He walked a couple guys. There's 7 walks between Abel and Lazar, 8 walks if you include Taiwan Walker, 9 walks if you include Robert. I mean, that's just a lot of free passes, man. You're not going to be effective if that's the case. But after Lazar, I mean, Walker, Johnson, they allowed the team to maybe potentially come back into this, and they were a swing away, which I was stunned to see that. I was asking the question, what were you more what was the bigger storyline before you saw game 2 of the doubleheader? So after the afternoon game that they lost, the series was 1-1 at the time. You didn't know if they were going to win or lose. I asked the question online for a Twitter poll. You can follow me on Twitter at Brodes81. Do you take away more of being annoyed or proud that they fought back? And it was 60% annoyed, 40% proud that they fought back. In the moment, proud that they fought back wasn't even close to where my emotions were. But some pointed out Mick Abel's not going to be a part of this thing in the starting rotation during the playoffs, so it's kind of irrelevant and it's a scheduled loss anyway. But I didn't think of it that way in the moment. Now that you win the series, though, things fizzle out a bit in regards to that. And now it's more along the lines of, all right, we got to figure out what we do with Mick Abel and Mick Abel's spot in the order and in the rotation, more so than a lot of anger towards what happened with this team during this series. You know what I mean? It fizzles out a tad because winning masks a lot. So with that, thank you guys all so much for hanging out. I greatly appreciate it. You guys are the best. Thank you. We will continue to talk about whatever the hell is going on in Philly sports as we rock on. You guys are the best. Talk to you on the next one.